Hello and welcome to level 37 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here once again with my two compadres. I have David.
What up? Oh, that was terrible.
Let's do another
Yeah,
take
that
of that, all right?
was.
Let
What
me
up?
there you
There
go.
you go.
And I have Cory.
Hiya! Hiya.
Huh? The infamous Hiya. Yeah.
I'm running out of lines, man. I don't know how long I can
Okay.
keep this going.
Well, it's
I
it's
really
weird.
don't.
There has to be infinite amount of quotes
There
in
is.
games.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, shoot. I actually wrote a different line. I'm an idiot. That's why
Okay.
You said it, not me. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, my God. I got you, baby girl.
Ah, that's Colt.
No, that's Joel.
He's talking to his horse, right?
Ellie. Talking to Ellie.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a very emotional moment. So you got two today. Wow. Hiya
And that
Joel.
one.
This is a great
There you
level
go.
already.
Yeah. Well,
Starting off with just so much momentum. We want to welcome you into level 37. Chickens, ducks, hens, ladies, and gentlemen, of course. We are going to move swiftly into the nuke segment because we got a lot to get to. So let us start the morning announcements. And for today's announcements, we have 5 news items on the list, but the first one has a lot to it. And the first one is Nintendo had their Nintendo Direct. And in their Nintendo Direct, they talked about a bunch of stuff. They showed off a bunch of games. Kirby, we got a Bayonetta 3 announcement. We got a Splatoon 3 show off an announcement. A bunch of remasters and a bunch of other stuff as well. So we're going to go to our resident Nintendo expert, Cory.
hi.
Yeah. And so, Cory, I mentioned a bunch of stuff. Is there anything there that you're really excited? You may want to go into detail about a bit more. Go ahead and take it.
I mean, I'm excited about a lot of this stuff, but number one is probably Bayonetta 3. I love the Bayonetta series, a great action series, and it's finally been shown off after like more than a year, I want to say. So that was really cool to see. But yeah, the Direct was pretty positive all throughout. You know, Kirby had a game shown, and it was actually a 3D Kirby. You know, open world 3D, move around. Kirby's never done that. The N64 is coming to its online service. So they're bringing out 10 games that you can play if you own their service. I also believe they are upping the service. It's a different service that you can add on. So Nintendo give it, but they also charge you more. And yeah, like you said, there was a couple of remasters. Castlevania Advance Collection. There was 3 really good Game Boy Advance games from the Castlevania series, and they're all packaged in a collection for $20. So yeah, Splatoon 3. There was a lot of stuff.
I mean, it's not 60?
It's not 60.
Oh my goodness.
Nintendo did not set the price of that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of good. Are you more excited now about the Nintendo's game release lineup heading into winter 2021 and on into next year?
Yeah, winter 2021, not so much, right? I don't think there's
Yeah.
too much coming out. Metroid Dread, I guess Pokemon remakes are coming out. But 2022 looks like it's going to be a really strong year for them. You know, Breath of the Wild 2, Bayonetta 3, Splatoon 3. So those are 3 big, really heavy hitters. So 2022, I've been saying it for a long time now, but it's going to be a magnificent year for gaming.
Yep.
I hope I live that long.
Incredibly expensive year in gaming.
It's going to be incredibly expensive.
Yeah. David, what about you? What's your thoughts?
To be honest, the N64 thing is catching my eye. I played a lot of games on that. So hopefully they kind of give us the whole roster. And I know you guys aren't, a fan of it, but I want to play DK64 again.
That's not a great one.
I'm
hoping to tell you what games are on there right now. If you give me just a second, go on, Jeremy.
I'm hoping. Well, I don't know if they actually are, but if we could get any kind of the WCW NWO,
Oh my God.
Those were the best
WW,
wrestling games.
No Mercy,
WrestleMania 2000.
2000.
That was mine right there. I put so much
Oh,
time
yeah.
into that one.
And that one was so cool because it was the black cartridge, the black label, and the green letters. They knew they had a hit. That's the type of thing you do when you know you've got it, and you're just like, take this real quick. We're gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, so I got the N64 list right here that's coming out when it launches. Dr. Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Mario Tennis, Star Fox 64, Winback, never heard of that one, F-Zero X, Kirby
Yes.
64, Mario Golf.
Yes.
I believe that's it.
Just a bunch of first-party games?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's all they have right now. I think they said Ocarina of Time would be the first one that they launched like later. I believe that's what they said. So,
well, you know what? That's cool. That's really energizing and exciting for some people. They got to step that lineup up though. They got to step it up, way up.
Yeah.
I didn't see any Turok 2s. I didn't hear of any of Nightmare Realms. I forgot what it was. But that was like a really cool game. And then of course all the wrestling games I just mentioned, got to step it up. News item number 2, Cory, you like this. It was been officially announced, sponsored by Hulu, I believe. IGN had their fans vote over 26 million votes. And in their gauntlet of 64 games for the greatest game of all time, God of War 2018 won. It beat out Grand Theft Auto 5 in the finale by over 100,000 votes. So yeah. I mean,
no issue with this at all.
A really, really big news story. I can't stress that enough. How big this number 2 is.
I think people got it right though. Like, this is my personal favorite game of all time, and I'm not a God of War fan before this game. So, in my opinion, it's just a masterpiece from beginning to end. There is not a flaw in the game.
It's interesting because I think I'd said last year that I had bought it, right?
Right.
And I didn't play it. I haven't played it,
Is this
I've had it there. Hold on. I hadn't played it until maybe about a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
And I maybe got like an hour and a half into it about that. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. You may be onto something. You may be onto something. I'm an hour and a half into it. I really like the hour and a half. Okay. Like my first hour and a half in this game, much more than I did another game we'll be talking about later on in this level. Okay.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that's interesting news, and of course Ragnarok is coming out, so I mean, just well timed, good game. Check it out. It's cheap too. I think you can get it for like $10 now for PlayStation or something. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I'm very surprised about this because like GTA 5 is like the thing that's made the most money ever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty surprised too. I don't know. It's not like an evergreen title. A lot of people, I don't want to say like love to hate this game, but it's a PlayStation exclusive. So a lot of times you get people that are just
another
like
thing.
not voting for that at all. I would have figured it would have been a really big third party game. I don't know. It's kind of nice to see.
Yeah, but I mean, like, God of War is synonymous with the PlayStation, and so, it is. You would think it beat out Super Mario Bros. Like, we're talking about like all the games, all of them. Like all the 64 greatest games of all time. So they're putting the GTAs and the Halos and the Marios and the Zeldas and all those in there, and it beat them out by a healthy margin. So it's very interesting.
Well done, I guess.
One day, Ghost of Tsushima will take it. News item number 3. The Game Awards was announced to be taking place live and in person. The first time since the pandy started. It will be on Thursday, December 9th of 2021.
In color?
Now, in color.
Oh.
And from what I've heard, they have some closed captioning as well,
Oh my God.
Yep.
Live music?
Live music stereo sound. They haven't got to surround yet, but they have stereo sound, I believe. And also it's like in sync. It's not dubbed or anything like that. So it's great. It's brand new technology. So yeah,
That's amazing.
Exactly. I think we've talked before about how we think that the Game Awards has kind of usurped E3 in regards to the hype and the celebration of games, the showing of game release trailers and different stuff like that. How are you guys feeling about the Game Awards? You guys going to tune into it? Are you hyped at all? Especially based on the news we've received from the recent PS5 showcase and the Nintendo Direct. Do you think we'll get anything more from those camps, or perhaps just some new interesting games to look at?
I don't know. I mean, these like rewards never really tickle my fancy, I guess. But I mean, just it gets the crowd going. It's such a huge thing. It gets, the community together. So I mean, it's still nice to have, in my opinion. But as for me, I'll probably just listen to see what happened on our podcast.
Yeah, I like the Game Awards. The awards themselves are like fine, they're fun. It's nice to see all those games up there and try to guess which ones are going to win. They don't always get them right, but they do a pretty good job. They seem like they take it seriously. And the best part is, like you said, they kind of took over for E3. You get a lot of big game announcements. It's spread out pretty evenly throughout the entire show, so they keep you watching. Usually there's one at the end that's really big. So, yeah, I'll definitely be watching. I really like the Game Awards. How about you, Jeremy?
My hope is that we get a regular Game Awards ritual comes back, and that ritual is when the guy, I forgot his name, but he's the creative director and owner of the studio that made A Way Out and a bunch of another co-op indie game that's like part of EA's like little indie publishing branch. My hope is It Takes Two. Yeah, it takes, and that I'm hoping it's another ritual of him going on the Game Awards show, talking about this game, being passionate about it, and just blurting out words all over the place. That has become a staple. I think he's done it every time he's been on there and talked about it. So I just hope it continues. That's something I'm looking forward to.
He's the one that's like real nervous and but like endearing.
No, not nervous. He's just passionate. He starts to talk about his game. He talks smack about other games and other game studios. And he's like, yeah, our game is, I want to make games that will bleep and blow your mind and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Jeff Keighley nervously interviewing him. So, yeah, right. I want to see that. Yeah. We're going to move on to news item number 3. This one's a doozy. Amazon's New World game, their MMO, whatever, becomes Steam's most played game of 2021 after one day. After it released on Steam, it reached at some point a peak of 700,000 concurrent players. And today it reached a peak of about 450,000 concurrent players. Last reported, but that goes up and down. And apparently at any given time, there's about 10,000 players waiting to queue in. Jeez. Every time something starts. So we've talked about Amazon and their bungling of a bunch of different games. They've had to shut down a lot of different, studios or a lot of different projects. New World appears to be a hit in regards to that. This is a crazy launch, player count amount. It's crazy. It's PUBG-esque. It's Apex-esque. However, while they're also hitting those numbers and hitting new numbers, they are also still making sure to hit your GPUs because they are starting to brick GPUs again. This is the same game we talked about previously that was bricking GTX or RTX 3090s and stuff like that. So it's still doing that. But it's also breaking Steam records. Guys, it's interesting because I have New World very loosely in my peripheral, but this isn't a game I've really heard a lot about within my, immediate gaming circle. Is this a game you guys have been keeping up on or have even had any interest in before or now with the huge numbers that it's putting up now?
After like you said, talking about before, and graphics cards just getting eaten alive. I haven't even paid attention to it, but
Yeah.
like I noticed because my friends list was just kind of going crazy yesterday. So many people were hopping onto this new world. I'm like, that's kind of strange. Okay. For it to hit that number in one day, and that's just the most played in 2021, is absolutely insane. I didn't
Yeah.
see any ads for this on anything, Facebook, any other apps, any whatever. I don't see how it came to be this without it being in my face.
It has to
But
be streaming,
it's
right? It has to be streamers.
maybe
I would think that's like the only thing I could think of that would allow them to put up those type of numbers and not have that traditional route, because Battlefield 5 kind of had that too, right? Like when Battlefield 5 first came out, it had this huge number of people, but that's because they had like 30 or 50 of the top streamers like streaming at the same day it came out or something like that. So I mean, I don't know.
right. That's a highly possibility. But as long as it's doing this to the graphics cards, I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
even try just in case.
I
Cory?
have very little interest because I don't really play PC, but it does sound like an interesting concept. Now, this is, you kind of said like PUBG,
It's massively
like
multiplayer.
DayZ, like kind of like join a world and
Right. Yeah. And
like
fight it
build up
out.
your, but also
Exactly.
building and creating and surviving, right?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of interesting. Like I said, I'll never get to it. I'm not really a PC guy. I'm even less of an MMO guy, but
Yeah.
Intrigued to see other people play it. How about you,
Yeah.
Jeremy?
I'm very intrigued to see where this goes, how this progresses. Because I don't immediately right now have any interest in it. There's other games that I'm trying to get back into and play and different stuff like that. So I don't think this, but if it keeps up, it's kind of gonna become like an Among Us thing where it's like, okay, well now just out of pure curiosity, right? An Among
Right.
Us or a Valheim thing. And I think about like those games came out this year, didn't they? Like we played those games this year. As far as
Yeah.
like they being hugely in the zeitgeist of gaming. You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
Among Us was last year.
Among Us is 2018 actually.
Well,
But
it
it
came out
became-
28, but it got really big. Like,
That
I
yeah, it
think
got really
last-
big last year.
yeah,
Yeah,
big,
it was on
back
Game's
end,
Valheim I
top
think
10.
came out in May.
back
it
end
came
of
out-
2020 into 2021, and then Valheim 2021. So I mean, these were talking about two games that were like gaming zeitgeist. So it's crazy that this one beat those as far as numbers. I mean, it's also, I believe, it retails for 40, I think,
Okay.
and you have it's going for $5, and you have Valheim going for 20. It's it's impressive, but
Does this have a monthly fee?
ooh, that I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know for sure.
No.
I don't.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah, I don't know.
That's not bad if it doesn't have a monthly fee, because I know a lot of MMOs. Well,
Yeah.
some do. I know a lot haven't been doing that
Yeah,
lately, but like
WoW,
But-
Final Fantasy,
Final
I would-
Fantasy 14 has one, but
you know.
Elder
Right.
Scrolls does not.
I would think though, if it's like these are Steam numbers, I'm assuming Steam doesn't do that, right? Like if it was a subscription based model, you'd have to
I
buy
think
and
they
use it through
do.
their own launcher. Or
Because Final Fantasy 14, where do you buy that from? I would think it would be Steam.
you're right.
I don't know.
It might be an in-game kind of
Right.
thing, so it's not on Steam actually.
Let's see. What's this game called? New World?
Yeah.
New World, Yeah.
Let's see.
and it is a big one. I mean, they got a bunch of really positive press, and when it was, in beta trial before, in regards to the experience, again, it was mostly overshadowed by the negative part that it was bodying people's $1,500 graphics cards. But, as far as the actual game loop, the mechanics, people seem to be really digging it. So I guess that's the
Yeah,
point.
it does not have a monthly fee. So this potentially down the line might be something I would look into then.
Yeah. And once we know they aren't not bodying our graphics cards, because if it's taking out 3090s, I'm not going to put my 1660 up to that. That's just not happening.
Right?
Yeah. We're going to move on to news item number 5, which I think is something that we had mentioned was being rumored before, but now it's being kind of confirmed, and that's that PlayStation is acquiring Blue Point Games. They did the remake of Shadow of Colossus and recently the Demon Souls remakes for the PS5. They've worked with them so closely anyway, it just made sense for PlayStation to scoop them up. So you got themselves a new studio, did some pretty decent work, The arms race continues.
Yep.
But that is it for the morning announcements, our news segment, which means we're going to move on to the roundtable, where we have a singular topic of discussion that we will discuss. And that topic is, for us, a hurtful one. We're going to talk about our most disappointing games. That's right, guys. Sometimes we don't always hate games. Sometimes we're just disappointed by them. And we're going to talk about, we're each going to give the 3 games that were the most disappointing for us. Now, I'm going to have David lead this off here. David, start off.
Yeah.
What's your first game that just disappointed you?
All right. So mine is probably not too surprising, but as we all know, I love the Resident Evil series and everything. But when I got 6 and I played it, and I played like 2 or 3 campaigns, I don't even remember. I was just so appalled by it, so disappointed. Like it, I don't, I don't know. It's just, it was so bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected, I guess, but that definitely wasn't it.
Now, the thing I heard with RE6 is that I was like way more action oriented than the other ones, and it just like totally missed the vibe and the energy that RE games
Yeah,
are
because
supposed to have.
yeah, I haven't played it in forever, so that did kind of spark memory. Yeah, it was you're just constantly like a constant like run through, just mostly action. There's no like nothing scary. You're always like fighting something. Yeah, there's you weren't really scared by anything. You weren't trying to what's the word? I don't know. You weren't like yeah, there wasn't no puzzles or anything like there is in every other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just a straightforward action game, if I can remember correctly. And that's not really what I want from Resident Evil. I want Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8.
Right.
Amazing
the atmosphere, the tension, all that stuff. Yeah.
That's my first one.
I've heard a lot of people have been disappointed by that one. Cory, how about you? You give yours.
Yeah, so I'm speaking for all the people of the world because everyone was disappointed by this game, including myself. Okay. I was very hyped up for it, not years in advance like some people, but about a week before it got to me, and I was just beyond hyped leading up to the release of One Man's Lie, or No Man's Sky, as it's officially called. Yes. So much was promised in this game. So much was promised by Sean Murray, the creative director of the game, and very little of it was fulfilled. The game itself was fine. It was a survival crafting type game with unlimited worlds and all these different things you could see. And once you made it off the first planet onto another planet, you kind of knew. It's like, yes, they're different, but it's practically the same thing. And once you get to that point, you just realize, wow, I wasted $60. And I got a refund for that game. I'm aware that it's much, much better than it was back then. It added a lot of the things they promised. It looks actually really good, but for pride's sake, I don't think I can ever buy it again because I was so disappointed and felt so cheated.
Yeah,
that's a fair reason, man. That's
the procedural generation, infinite possibilities, and it's like, well,
right,
not really so much though. That's interesting. So I'll piggyback off of that because I also have No Man's Sky on my list of most disappointing games. I spent $60 for a game that's basically worth what it is now, which is $30. That's what it should have sold for when it came out. And it didn't. It's the game had almost nothing of which was sold. It was, I mean, I feel like they broke some laws. I feel like they did. But the game mechanic wasn't good. The way that it approached storage and inventory management just was stupid. The freaking robot voice said, "Oh, recharge." That got annoying and it was ridiculous. There was like, you were supposed to be able to jump into this war like possible different alien races, Ward. You would just meet them in random places. They were just talking heads. It was nothing engaging. The game was a lie. Extremely disappointing. It is a better game, but no one cares anymore. So it just is what it is. Play Space Engineers instead. But we'll do game number 2. David, what is your game number 2 for
All right.
most disappointing?
Another one. It's probably predictable, but I loved the Twisted Metal series, and eventually I bought a PS3 so I could play The Last of Us, and I found out there was a Twisted Metal on it. So I got it. I played it. I did beat it, but it wasn't the same. You didn't get to pick one of, the 10, 12 different kind of cars and people that drive them. It was just set. You had to play what the game was given. I think if I remember correctly, it wasn't that even long of a game. You were a car shooting things, but that was about the only thing that was really the same with the other Twisted Metals. I want choices. I want, a bunch of different maps, and it just did not bring to the table what I was expecting. And that's why I was disappointed by that one.
Yeah, that one was a shame. It really sucks that it took out having every character have their own unique ending, because that was why you would play it, to see, hey, what's this guy wish and how does it get screwed up?
Yep.
Yeah.
My turn.
Cory,
okay, so I was a huge Madden fan growing up. Loved Madden, bought every single one except for maybe the last couple. You could put Madden on this list any number of years. They don't really improve, but I'm not going to talk about Madden. I'm going to talk about a spin-off game from Madden. Now, what spin-off game did they have? They made a game called Head Coach.
They did.
And Head Coach was touted as Madden without the gameplay. You take a coach and you call the plays, and it's kind of just a simulation game. And I was like, that sounds great. And I bought it, and that's what it was. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I started playing it. I'm like, wait.
Oh my god.
I can already kind of do this in Madden, but I'm also allowed to play. So why did I get this game? So.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know what I was thinking. I bought it. Couple hours into it. Total regret. Total disappointment. Tried to return it. They don't let you return physical copies, but I still tried. I had my buddy Eric go in there and beg Best Buy, and it did not work. So I traded that bad boy in the next day because it was just Madden without the gameplay. Why did I buy it?
I mean,
I did that.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
I don't know.
So, you don't know which one it was?
It was the first Head Coach, the one with Tony Dungy on the cover.
Okay, so Head Coach, because they did 2 of them. Head Coach 08, Head Coach 09.
Okay.
Yeah. What you bought exactly what was described.
I know.
That's interesting.
I got into it though, and I'm like, because they didn't offer too much more than what Madden already offered. I think you could do some special stuff with your playbook in that game, but it wasn't. It wasn't endearing to me.
It role played, like the team building and scouting and all that stuff a bit better, and you were able to offer different contract packages and stuff now, and a lot of people in the Madden community now refer to that game as being this is the pinnacle of simulation football. This is the type of thing we want back in Madden. And they came out with Head Coach 09 and 08 and 09 when a lot of those things were in Madden. It seems like Head Coach now would fill a better niche than it did back then, because
I think I would like it a lot better now.
Yeah, because it kind of turns into more of a management game, essentially, if you think about it that way.
Did you play those?
I played Head Coach 08 and 09.
Okay.
Yeah, I played both of them, and you know what? It's the same thing. I knew exactly what they were. I got them, and I didn't enjoy them.
Right. But I don't know.
But it sounds like you bought it at release. So did you pay the full price for it?
Yeah, I think actually, if I remember, it was $40 on release.
Yeah.
At least 08 was. So it wasn't a full price game, and I don't know why I remember this so much. I went to Blockbuster and I traded in for $19.
There you go.
It cost me $21 to rent it.
There you go. Yeesh, that's a good one. My second one is another EA product, and that is their latest or last iteration of SimCity, right? SimCity was this great, great city building game, and they came out with the newer SimCity, and the way they made it where it was basically like 2 kilometers was like, square kilometers was like the space you had to build your city, which is like nothing compared to the older games. You could build them across maps. They had fragment the city and the way different things happen. You'd build one square, 2 square kilometer place, and then okay, this city functions kind of like this, and then okay, let me build this other city that's right next to it that's the same size, and they can have more of an industrial function instead of you just being able to fragment and section off your city like that. And then of course the DRM, it was always online, so they released it. The game barely worked, the servers barely worked, and it was an always online game. So when you tried to play it at release or anything like that, you could barely play it. I thank the universe, the lords, and whoever else out there that when this came out, City Skylines was also there, so that we could say, oh, this game blows. Let's go play City Skylines, which is the truly true successor to the SimCity games. But man, that game was disappointing because it has been years since the last SimCity. And to have like a newer version, new graphics, all that stuff, so excited, just a complete letdown. So
Yeah, it seems like me and you had the same first day. It was very disappointing. I remember buying that game too.
yeah, it was terrible.
Okay, well, my third one is not that disappointing, but as we
It's
know,
disappointing to you.
I played a lot of Dynasty Warriors 4. A lot.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? The Dynasty Warriors 5 came out, or it was out for a little bit, so I rented it. It wasn't the same game. I don't remember because it's been a very long time, but I haven't touched Dynasty Warriors since. It just really killed it. I loved 4 so much. It was like my game child. And then Warriors 5 just came and killed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know they're on like what, 9 now?
They're on
10?
they're on 9. They're
Yeah.
on 9.
So, and I really loved it, and they just take it away. That's my third and final very disappointing game for this segment. What is your third and final, Cory?
All right, let me tell you a story, guys. So back in the day, I was a Sega Genesis boy, right? Loved Sega Genesis. That was my system, my go-to one. And don't know why, but there was a random day where we went to Toys R Us, me and my mom or my dad, one of the two or both of them, I'm not even sure. And I was actually allowed to just pick a game. Wasn't my birthday, wasn't Christmas. It's like, hey, just buy a game. So, Toys R Us had all those little slips that you would pick up. A lot of people don't remember because they're too young. But, Sega Genesis was a good system. It had a lot of good games. Breath of Fire, Phantasy Star, Shadowrun, stuff like that. What game did I pick, guys?
You picked Shaq Fu.
Tinhead?
And let me just reiterate, I was like maybe 7 or 8. I don't know exactly, but I was a little bit older. I picked Barney's hide and seek game.
Why would you
Why?
do that?
Why did I do that? I didn't like Barney. I was too old for Barney. Even when I was younger, I didn't like Barney. But I bought Barney's hide and seek game. It's a game where you are Barney and you're walking around a level and little kids' heads are poking out of bushes and you say, "Hey kid, I found you." And you find 5 kids and you go to the next level and it has like 4 worlds and that's it.
Oh my god.
Why did I buy that? What did my parents think of me when I said, "Hey, I want this game"?
Whatever they thought, I don't think it's changed.
Wait, so how did the game disappoint you? Because with this one,
I disappointed myself.
Yeah, this sounds like more like most disappointing game choices.
Myself.
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, that's fair.
I don't know why I did it. It's my biggest gaming regret of all time.
That's very, very.
Don't know.
Somebody's got to put that in your eulogy.
That's very strange. Yeah. So my last most disappointing game isn't a Barney hide and seek game. Mine's is Ghost Recon Wildlands. So I was a huge Ghost Recon person. I really enjoyed Ghost Recon compared to like Rainbow Six, and some of the other Tom Clancy games. So I saw Ghost Recon Wildlands. I'm like, okay, they're going open world. Okay, I don't love it, but they're making it third party or third person tactical shooter. I tend to like those kind of games, right? I think the first Division was already out for a minute before that came out, and I was somewhat disappointed with the Division, but I put over 100 hours in it, so obviously something clicked, and I'm like, oh well, this is Ghost Recon. It's going to be way more realistic and strategic and tactical, and compared to the Division, a little bit, but not really. And a lot of the realism got lost. You're supposed to hunt down these lieutenants and bosses in the cartel and all this stuff, and the game was just a mess. It wasn't the action wasn't as interesting. They had co-op where you could play with other people. That made it a bit more entertaining, but any game you play with other people is more entertaining. Besides that, the computer co-op people, they were idiots. You'd be crouching around, they'd crouch right in the open, get spotted by an enemy cartel member, and they start shooting at you, alarms go, and then you're surrounded by everybody, and it's yada yada yada. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the most disappointing because of just the lineage it came from. Those Ghost Recon games were like serious tactical games, and this was not so much. And it's just Ubisoft injecting their lame open world formula into everything, and that was one of the worst culprits of it. So that is my third most disappointing game. Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens, you let us know what game disappointed you the most as a gamer, because there's tons of them. I had a fourth one back here. Dynasty Warriors 9. I mean, I know David, you stopped playing at 5. If you had played 8 and then went to 9, you'd be like, "What the f is this?" Because it's nonsense. But yeah, that is Roundtable, which means we are going to move on to the Quickfire, where we talk about 1, 2, sometimes 3 games and highlight them because we've been playing them. We want to give them some love. So, Quickfire. I'll offer my Quickfires first.
Right.
I played and beat Bloodroots. Great game. Great little game. I saw it. I had interest in it. It's a great little game. It's very much, Katana Zero, Hotline Miami, where you get, you're just speeding through, and if you get hit once, you're done. You got to start over and do different runs. But it's great. It's bloody. It's gory. It has a bunch of different, almost everything in the level is a weapon. So you can pick up a stick, you can pick up an axe, you can pick up a sword, you can pick up a fish, a carrot. And one hit, you kill the person. And the objective is to clear the levels. Your objective is to kill all the enemies on the map when you get there. And it has a really, really good story to it as well. I'm going to end up doing a review for that one. So the other game that I've been playing, Yakuza Like a Dragon. I had mentioned before, back when it was being revealed, that I had interest in this game. The game came to Game Pass. I wasn't really interested in it. I decided to finally give it a try. I did that. I love it so far. It's not like the other Yakuzas. The combat isn't live action. It's turn-based. But the way they do it is really interesting because you don't feel like you lost that real-time feel of the combat. And the guy in the game is an idiot, and you're playing a lovable idiot. So I want to keep doing that. And then the last game I will actually highlight because it is an actual game compared to the other one, which is just a tech preview. But I've been playing Stardew Valley. I bought Stardew Valley and Civ 6 for my Nintendo Switch because I haven't been playing it a lot and I needed to find some games that would make sense for me to play. So I played Stardew Valley. I had it on Steam. I've had it on Steam for like a few years. Couldn't get into it on the computer, but I knew for a fact that I would play the crap out of it if I got it for my Switch, and I did. It is scratching the itch of the Harvest Moon games at a fraction of the price with way better quality. So I have been in Stardew Valley planting and growing parsnips, fishing herrings and trouts, just absolutely having a ball. So that is my quick fire. Let's see, Cory, how about your quick fires?
Yeah, I've been playing a ton of Deathloop, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I also have Diablo 2 Resurrection.
Ooh,
The
nice.
remaster, it's a remaster, a remake of Diablo 2.
Yep.
So best part about it is it's Diablo 2. It's very nostalgic. It looks great, but it still keeps that like 90s PC look to it, and plays wonderfully. The worst part about it is it's Diablo 2 exactly as it was. So the item management and inventory system is horrible.
Yeah.
I find myself missing so much of Diablo 3 where they streamline so much of the potions and all that stuff. I find myself going back to camp every 5 minutes because I'm picking up a million potions and having to put them in my box. So, but yeah, it's Diablo 2. It's a great game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the big one. I know a lot of my friends tried so hard to get me to get into that.
It's so good.
I played once and they made me play like Nightmare or whatever, and I died. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. Are you kidding me? But I guess let's do mine. I got the Go Figure Apex, but I also have Deathloop. We'll talk about that later, as we said. And also have Legion TD2. It's a tower defense game. It's pretty fun, and I'll also talk more about that later.
Foreshadowing.
That's my quick fires.
Foreshadows. That is our quick fires, which means we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will be back with Was It Worth It?
This level of the Thoughts and Players podcast was made possible by your support. If you're enjoying the podcast, please be sure to like, rate, and share the show, as well as contribute to our community questions and segments. Doing so helps the show grow, keeps our content engaging, and most importantly, makes sure your voice is heard. Thanks for tuning in. And now, back to the show.
And we are back with more Thoughts and Players. And we are moving on to our favorite segment, your favorite segment. Was it worth it? And our game for this Was It Worth It is one that just came out, has been receiving a bunch of critical acclaim, a PlayStation 5 exclusive or timed exclusive, perhaps, being published by Bethesda Games, not developed, so you know it's of decent quality. That is Deathloop. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about Deathloop in the way we usually do, you know, the 5 categories of visual, sound, story, technical, and gameplay. But first, maybe you don't know what Deathloop is. So, a brief overview. Deathloop is a game where you star as the main character, Colt, and you are here to kill, I believe it's 8 visionaries to, quote-unquote, break the loop. That's right. The way it happens is it has the elements of, like, Cory, you've talked about with Returnal, where, you know, every time you die, it's over, and you start the day over again. So, and you have to keep doing that until you're able to progress to a place where you're able to manage to get all your targets in an area where you can kill them all and break. Essentially, that's the general idea of the story.
Right.
So let's hop into the visuals. Now, if I'm correct, David, you played this on PC, right?
Yes.
So a PC, Cory and I believe PlayStation 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So let's talk about the visuals as comparably kind of as we can, right? David, what would you say the visuals were from your experience playing it on PC?
Okay, so the game itself doesn't look too bad, but the thing about it is this game is so overly dark. It's really annoying. Like, there's certain places I have my brightness maxed out, and there's still places and things I can't see. It's been really irritating. Like,
yeah,
the load screens, like if it had the lighting and the graphics that those have, I would give this visuals an A+. But like right now, it's at like a C+. It's the darkness is just really killing it for me. But we'll talk about more of why I'm still playing later.
Okay. Do you know if there's any known like PC specific issue or GPU specific issue that's like keeping the game from being the correct brightness? It's like an HDR thing, you think?
I don't know. Are you guys not having that issue?
I personally am not having that issue at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really
Okay.
had that issue.
It might be a PC thing. It might be my PC thing. I don't know.
Huh.
I'll have to look into that then.
All right. So, Cory, how would the visuals are from your vantage point?
Yes, I would say the actual like graphics of the game aren't like anything too special. You know, it doesn't look like an outstanding PS5 game. It would look like a really, really good PS4 game, but it's not anything where I'm like wowed by it as I turn it on. But the aesthetic and the art style is what kind of makes it shine. It's got like this, I don't know, 60s or 70s vibe going on. Like the colors really pop. The NPCs or the enemies are kind of unique. You know, they all wear these masks and they got this really cool style. The interiors are real nice. So the actual graphics themselves, nothing too special. They do look good, but the art style is what makes this game kind of shine. It does seem like their previous games, like Dishonored, it's got kind of the same vibe as that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, like we're like Dishonored and Prey, where it's something about the graphical fidelity. Like it's not bad, but it's not great.
Right.
And I don't really know. But you can tell it's not like. I don't think it's an issue with the engine. It just seems to be like that's just the way their games kind of look.
I think it's just an art style. I think they're trying to go for something that's a little more like timeless. Like you can turn this game on in 10 years and it would still look good because they didn't try to go for super realistic graphics that are going to fade, you know, as technology gets better. I don't know.
Right.
That's what my guess is.
That's
Right.
a good take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would say the same thing. Like graphical fidelity, obviously, I mean, it doesn't blow you away or anything. But the art direction and the artistic choices are interesting. It definitely has a style to it, and it adds to the atmosphere. There's definitely, you know, from that vantage point, appears to be a world that's lived in. It has that look. Like, you know, you're coming across a situation that is in progress. It doesn't feel like the world just spawned when you got here. So it has that going for as far as visuals. Yeah, but that's it. I mean, good, pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I would say that for at least for the PS5 side, you know, PC, they may have to figure some things out.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the sound and music. So this game has some sounds and this game has some music. Let's see, Corey, let's start with you. What's your opinions on the sound and music? Yeah.
Yeah, I will say this is excellent all across the board. For sounds, you know, the guns and the slabs that you use, your powers all sound really good. The voice acting is great. Colt as the main character is really funny, really believable. He's really put in the good situations where he can kind of shine. Julianne, kind of the antagonist across from him, she does a really good job. Whoever voice acts her. And all the visionaries are really done well. And voice in general, you know, whenever you pick up like a recorder and it comes out of your controller, obviously PC doesn't do that, but it sounds great. So the voice acting is excellent and the sounds are excellent. The music is really good too. It's got like a boppy jazz, sort of like I said, 60s and 70s vibe going on, and it definitely peaks when you're in combat and kind of dials down when you're kind of just, you know, exploring the world. But yeah, sound, music, all really, really good here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll speak to that just really quick because you talked about like they did it with the PlayStation 4 too. The controller has that speaker on it, right? So when the voices come through, you hear it through the speaker on the controller, but as well as all the other voice acting. Yeah, it's really good. When you first start the game as Colt and he doesn't really know what the heck is going on, the voice actor did a really good job of like really sounding freaked out. Like this guy is really freaking out. He doesn't know what's going on. And so, you know, that sells everything from that point. That kind of sets up everything. So yeah, I think sound and music is pretty good, man. A job, A, or at least not A plus. Let's say it's just a good solid A from me, at least on that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
That's so great from you though. That's
David. David, what's your opinions on the sound and music?
I'm gonna reiterate what you guys said. I love the music. It is bopping. Like you said, especially when like fighting and stuff. Like this music it gets you going, and the sounds, everything that's doing, it's great. And then, but I want to say on the voice acting again, like this voice acting is amazing. I really like connect to Colt, how he talks and how he's talking to other people in the game, and it's they do an amazing job in this game. Yeah. So this is part of the reason why I'm still playing this game, is the connection to Colt that I have with his personality. It drives me to keep going and see what this game brings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely, you know, you read the story about how Bethesda bought the guy who voiced Colt a PS5 so he could actually play the game. Homie deserved that PS5 and so much more because he's in the voice so far. So let's move on to story. We briefly did an overview of the general ideas of the story so far, but as far as opinions on what you guys feel about the story from a narrative process. Now this game plays with time. That's like one of the main mechanics of it, and sometimes that can F up the story, so to speak. So what have been your guys' impression of the story so far? Either one of you can go first if you want. If you have like ideas that just pop right to your head.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm about 6 hours into it,
Okay.
and I think if I didn't play like Majora's Mask growing up, I think this game would be kind of maybe annoying. The whole restarting everything, having to do things over and over. But yeah, it gives me Majora's Mask vibes, and fortunately, growing up doing that, it's not a bad thing. It's not exactly the same every time. You're finding out a lot of information, this and that. So the story is also appealing to me. And that's why another reason I'm continue to play. And I think it's a good story to at least play through one time.
Yeah.
It's good. What about you, Cory?
Yeah, so Jeremy, you kind of gave an overview. Colt's on this island. He has to kill 8 visionaries to break the loop. That's very the early basis of the story, but you find out a lot more. You find out why Colt's on the island, what his involvement with the visionaries is. Obviously, with Julianne, there's more of a relationship between them than the other visionaries, and you start finding out a lot of that stuff. And it's told really well. Like you said, it has like a time loop aspect, so you're going back and forth, and it plays really well with that. Where obviously you got to get stuff earlier in the day to affect later in the day, but it's really well done. It really points it out to you. The story is told not only through voice acting and cut scenes like that, but it's also told through a lot of the papers you find around and the recorders, and all those are really well done. And everything you pick up has a purpose for the story. Like literally everything. Everything gives you information that is not necessarily, well, it is. It's needed. It's needed information. So it's really well done that they do that. And yeah, it's intriguing. I want to know exactly why Colt is kind of, I don't want to spoil anything, but like rebelling, because obviously he was on this island and now he's trying to kill everyone. So what's happening? It's intriguing.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it is. They play with the way they kind of play with time and how that weaves into the narrative and him doing stuff over again, him being places before, right? Him meeting certain people before, like it's all interesting stuff. Let's move on to the technical aspect. Now for this, I have maybe around 2 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. So I don't think I can really speak to the technical aspects because I haven't really had any issues with it. But I don't know if I've just put it through enough time in order to prompt those. Cory, have you had any technical issues with it on your PlayStation 5?
I have not. Now, everything's been pretty good on the PlayStation 5. You have a couple options that you can go through. You can do performance or graphics. I keep it on performance.
Yep.
But yeah, everything's been pretty solid. David, I know you said you had pretty long loading times.
Yeah, it's kind of. There's a lot. There's so much loading in this game.
I feel like that's a PC thing. I don't know. I haven't really had extraordinary load times, but my only issue other than that is I had one invisible wall that was really upsetting. I have a slab that lets me teleport forward a X number amount of feet. I was making a roundabout, tried to jump and disappear, and I hit a wall and I fell into the ocean and died. So I'm putting that on technical because I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, because I mean, deaths really cost you in this game. Like
it does. It does.
Yeah. Well, David, PC sound like there's been some issues there. So you maybe want to walk us through what the issues are for our PC gamers.
There's a lot of loading. My game crashed on Tuesday when I was streaming. I don't want to open it back up and see if it's saved a lot or not. Cory says I should be all right, but yeah. But besides the loading and that one crash, it ran very smoothly.
Okay.
So no issues playing the game.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I know that what is it? It has the three. It has the performance mode, the visual mode, and then it also has on the PlayStation 5 the ray tracing mode, which I thought was interesting.
Yes.
But it slows your gameplay from 60 frames to 30 frames.
Yeah, and didn't seem like ray tracing added so much that I wanted to put it on. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I'm not trying to give up half my frames for ray tracing.
Right.
No. And so then that leads us to the gameplay. The meat and potatoes of this thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, this is from the same people that did the Dishonored games and Prey. So you got to think about the way that they designed that play style, those game mechanics, movement, different stuff like that. Those have all been brought over to this game. So as far as gameplay, how would you say you guys have experienced this? What's really been sticking out to you as far as the gameplay? Well, I can say for me, it's been the shooting. I've enjoyed the gunplay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And a lot of times in first-person shooter games, I don't. It's very strange. Like a lot of the ones that you end up playing that are good, or that I end up enjoying or beating, they don't have the great gunplay. So I think of a game like Rage 2, I've talked about before, that the gunplay in that game is so great, the game just isn't good.
Right.
But the gunplay is exceptional. It's the same with Destiny. The gunplay is great. Just the game isn't really that good. This is another one where the gunplay feels really good to me. At least initially, that's what stuck out to me. I'm waiting to see how everything progresses because for me, an issue that I'm having is the pacing. I think that first hour and a half to 2 hours of this game isn't paced very well, right? Especially when I compare it to other games like God of War 2018. The first hour and a half, 2 hours of that game are so well paced, and part of that time consists of you burning your dead wife, but it's still also well paced in regards to story building, character building, and learning the mechanics of the game. With this, it feels a little bit slow to me. I understand they're trying to guide you, let you learn the mechanics. There's a lot of mechanics in the game you have to learn. But I'd say those are two things that really stuck out. As far as the gunplay felt really good, but the pacing I'm not the biggest fan of so far.
Yeah, so I would say for pacing, if you're not doing this already, really just go for your visionary leads. Now, it's kind of like a menu item where they show off like the 8 visionaries. They might not show them all off at the beginning, but they say, hey, to advance this, do this thing at this time. Now, I spent a lot of my time just kind of like going through the different segments because it's broken down into 4 times a day: morning, noon, afternoon, and night. So I was spending a lot of my time just going to random places and exploring. And I spent maybe 5 hours not really collecting anything or doing anything that led to the story. And then once I started doing these visionary leads, it really quickened the pace. And I was getting information. I was seeing like, oh, okay, if I did this now, I could go back here and do this. So for pacing, I would say just don't be afraid to jump right into it. I don't know if you are yet or not, but yeah, definitely jump right into those things.
Right.
And
that's what I plan on doing. I have not spent any time exploring.
Yes, I spent too much time exploring at the beginning. It was it was wasted time, because I still got that exploration doing the main stuff anyways. Yeah. But you had mentioned Dishonored, and I was really worried going into this because a lot of the reviews mentioned stealth a lot, and I'm not a stealth guy. But thankfully, you don't really have to rely on stealth. I haven't at all. They got a very strong machete weapon, and the gunplay is a lot of fun. Yep. Now, every visionary has a power that they call, they hold a slab. I think 6 out of the 8 have slabs, and they give you different powers. And each one of them also has like a really powerful gun that has different techniques with them. One might give you back health, one might slow them down. The one that I really like using when I shoot it, it puts a poison cloud on whatever I hit. So if I hit an enemy, they also get poisoned, and anyone that walks through it gets poisoned. So gunplay has been a lot of fun, a lot of experimenting with that because you also get trinkets. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Are you talking about the trinkets kind of work like mods for the guns?
No, the guns themselves have their own separate powers when you get them off the visionary.
Oh, okay. In addition to the trinkets.
Yes. Right. So like I said, I killed a visionary. Their pistol allows me to have a poison cloud. And then I can also add trinkets on top of that. Now, so far, the trinkets haven't been really anything special. They've been like aim down sights, more ammo. Those are never really fun. But the actual powers that you get with some of those guns have been pretty good.
Yeah.
And like I had mentioned with the slabs, I don't know how many slabs. Jeremy, how many do you have? Do you have any at all yet?
I think I have one.
Okay, and David, I know you have 2 or 3 or 4.
I have 3 at least, maybe 4.
Yeah, so those have been a lot of fun. Now I've stuck to 2 that I really like, but there has been one that turns you invisible. I haven't really used. There's one that lets you kind of use almost like the Force from Star Wars, where you can lift people up. And I was throwing people off the side of a building and killing them. I got 2 that I really like. The one called Shift, where it allows me to disappear, like I said, about 20 feet in front of me. And I got one called Nexus. That's a lot of fun. And I read that this was kind of taken from Dishonored. But when you throw it onto somebody, it links them to other enemies. And if you do damage on one of them, it does damage to all of them. So you can get yourself in a situation where you have 3 or 4 of them linked up, shoot one in the head, and they all just die right away. So that's been really cool.
Yeah.
David, do you want to go into gameplay a little bit? I got more to talk about, but
Yeah, as you said, the pacing did start a little slow, especially I had no idea what was going on. But it did pick up quick. I was just going straight for story. And the menu and stuff, like I think I was like Cyberpunk, like I had no idea what to do with the menu and doing this and that and the other, but this one was pretty self-explanatory. The game is fun. I like using the slabs, and the gunplay is actually a little clunky to me, but I mean, I play so much BR, I'm not too surprised, but it's not upsetting or anything. But yeah, I mean, the gameplay's been fun. I want to keep collecting the powers and the guns, and just, it's gonna get easier and easier as you progress. I mean, obviously, I guess. And yeah, what were you gonna finish off with, Cory?
I just had a couple more points. I wanted to talk about the island a little bit. Now, like I said, the island is broken down into 4 like districts pretty much. And like I said, there's 4 times of day. So the really cool part about this is you could go to a certain district in morning, and when you go there in the afternoon, it's not different, but the enemies are different. And it might be a little darker. There might be snow. And like I said, all the enemies are at different spots, or there's more security, or there's mines or something like that, which makes it kind of cool to go back to. And the thing I really liked about this, and you had mentioned I kind of like compared it to Returnal. Now, the issue with Returnal is every time you die, the world is procedurally generated, so you don't know what you're getting into. This one's not. This one is lovingly crafted by Arcane, and every time you go into a spot, you can go to the same exact areas. So I found that at the beginning, I was extremely cautious. I was sneaking around corners. I was trying to be quiet. And now, since I know these areas so well, I'm going like rooftop to rooftop and just jumping and shifting further away and making what used to be like 20-minute paths into like 2 minutes. And that's been a lot of fun. And the last part I want to talk about is one of the visionaries. Her name is Julianne. We talked about her in the voice acting and stuff. She isn't in a certain location. She can appear randomly throughout. So she has been a thorn in my side. She is very intense. So you might get done with killing a visionary, think you're safe, and as you're heading towards the exit, Julianne has appeared on the map, and now you've got to shut down a satellite or something like that so you can open the exit back up. And she's been a ton of fun. I like when she invades. There is a multiplayer aspect to this game. I don't know if either of you have tried it.
Nope.
No, I have it turned off. I was gonna bring that up if you didn't.
Right.
So I was told by the GameStop associate that sold me the game that he is quote unquote the coldest Julian in the game, bar none. He will body anybody as Julian on the multiplayer. But go ahead.
All right, so that's the thing. So you can play as Colt or Julianne when you start the game. If you play as Colt, you're playing a single player game. You're playing story. If you play as Julianne, you're playing somebody else's game, which is really intriguing, which is really cool. I don't think many companies have done this. Dark Souls kind of does something like that where you can invade other people's worlds. But yeah, you pick Julianne, and you are inserted in someone else's game. So pretty much at that point, you are trying to ruin their single player game. And playing as Julianne, it was awesome. I felt so cool. It was so much fun. She has a power where you can take over the appearance of one of the Eternalists, the enemies in the game, so you can kind of stalk Colt and kind of take note. you know, you kind of want to blend in so he doesn't see you because his goal is to kill you. And yeah, been a ton of fun. But like David, I've also had to turn it down because when I had it fully loaded where I was allowing every Julianne to come in, I was getting invaded every time I stepped onto the map. And these people were good and they were killing me and they were ending my runs and I was not happy. So I had switched it to only friends can invade me. So that hasn't happened yet because I don't have many friends on PlayStation. But yes, I wanted to mention the multiplayer aspect. I think it's very unique and very fun. And she also has like her own leveling system. You can get better guns and better powers with her. So pretty cool aspect that they put in.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
That's just an amazing concept that they put in there. Like I turned it off because I have no idea what I'm doing already, so I don't want to
Right.
get frustrated with it. But I
Right.
think as soon as I beat it, I'm either gonna play her or
I
I'm
think you
gonna
should
go
try to
through
at least
again
give
and
her a
turn it
shot.
on. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I think just kind of another thing to highlight, because kind of going back to their Arcane's, experience with the Dishonored games and stuff. This is a shooter, right? By all means, but I really enjoy the parkour and the verticality of some of the
Oh
levels.
yeah.
The way they're designed, like it feels really good. Like the climbing and the jumping and all that stuff, double jumping in some instances. Once you unlock, I think that's like one of the first things you unlock.
Right.
Is to do a midair double jump or something. But all the parkour and the verticality in the game feels great. And again, just I don't know, maybe it might be Corey. We have the PlayStation 5, we got that haptic feedback, so it might be that influencing it. But shooting in this game,
Feels
again,
good.
really, it feels good. When you get a headshot,
It feels
and just
heavy, yeah.
body someone, it feels really good. But yeah, Deathloop. Do we have anything else we want to say about it, really?
Talked about a lot.
I think we did talk about
We
it a lot.
talked about a lot. So we're going to get to the final thing. What are we doing this here? It wasn't worth it. What are we doing here? We're here to give it an evaluation, right? Our impressions and evaluation based off of that. So this game, what does it even retail for? What does it retail for? Because I was
60.
under the impression that it retailed for 60. Okay, cool. I got it for 55, and I don't know why. But it retails for 60. You can get it on PC or on PS5. So for $60, what are we thinking? This game, is it worth it? David, let's start with you. You've had some issues on technical issues with PC. You've been playing it though. You've stuck with it because of the sound, the music, and the voice acting and all that stuff. What do you think this game is worth a $60 asking price?
Okay, so thinking about that, we all know there's going to be a pretty big year coming up for gaming. So if you need to save money for a game you're looking forward to, I would say hold up on it. Maybe wait for a sale or something. But if you can just get games as you go, I say yeah, this game is a lot of fun. It's very intriguing. It keeps you guessing. It keeps you wanting to play it. I say it's worth the price tag.
All righty, it's worth it. Corey, what about you? Do you think this game is worth it?
Yeah, I think I've been pretty positive the whole time. Everything we said, the visuals look pretty good. Sound of music is great. The traversal is a ton of fun. I love, climbing the walls and the roofs. Gunplay is really good. Story is really good so far. I think it's just a really good game. Now, is it the 10s that a lot of websites gave it? No, maybe it's not a 10, but that's not an issue. It could be a high 9. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. So I would say for the $60 price tag, if you like this genre of game at all, first-person shooters, then yeah, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah, I would I would second that. So I also think it's worth it as far as the $60 asking price. I don't know, man. It's been this past year for me has been a revelation with roguelike games. Games that I've on principle hate because I hate dying in games. You have games where that is fully the intent that's going to happen multiple times throughout the game to be frustrating. But for me, yeah, and again, I don't have that much time in the game, but I've very much enjoyed what I have. I know there's a lot more. Everyone I've talked to has said, oh, once you're 3-4 hours into it, the game really takes off. So for me, I'm expecting the game experience to be even better than what I've had so far. And so to me, yes, $60, $55 in my case, it was worth it. And so I think if you're looking for a very good, interesting first-person shooter with some good verticality and parkour in it, very Dying Light-esque or Dishonored-esque, and some nice, good gunplay, you want to really feel that haptic feedback in the PS5 DualSense controller, then yeah, you make sure you pick it up, man, because I think it's worth it. Arcane did a great job. It's not worth those 10s. It's definitely not worth those 10s the website was giving it, but
Might be worth a 9 though. Once I haven't beat it. I'm so close. I think I'm 18 hours in, and I've got like one more visionary to clean up, and then I think the whole picture will come together, and then I'll be able to do it on my next run. But a very good game.
I've seen the average that they're seeing playthroughs averaging between 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, I'm going a little slow for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, you
What about
spent
that
5 hours.
I did.
Looking around.
I really thought I was making moves. I'm like, I'm just gonna start exploring, and it was a little bit of a waste.
Yeah, you have that Red Dead Redemption 2 syndrome that I had, where I'm just going around wasting hours. It is wasting hours. Yeah, but that is it for Was It Worth It? Which means we're going to move on to one of our games. That game is Legally Guessing, and for today's round of Legally Guessing, we have David bartending the show. So, David, take it away.
All right. Well, I have a game.
Oh.
You guys have to guess. Got 21, one being an answer.
Okay.
I have a game selected.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you guys start running.
I think
All right.
we're in a little bit of trouble here, Jeremy, because the first time he did it, he picked a Resident Evil game. The second time he did it, he picked a Twisted Metal game. So we're out of David franchises.
No, we're not. We still got a couple.
We got a couple.
I'm gonna do a guess right off rip here. All right.
You're gonna guess an entire game?
Right off rip here.
Oh gosh. Okay.
If I don't get it, we've got 20 questions left.
Okay.
Is this game Dynasty Warriors 4?
No.
Okay.
But I wanted it to be so bad.
Oh my god. Here's the thing. I feel like I was closer. I was pretty close though.
I saw where that was going too. I'm like, there's one more.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Can we play this game on any of the 3 current systems? PS5, Xbox Series S, X, or Switch?
I don't know.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. So we know that it's not an Xbox Series or Xbox One game.
That's true. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pretty much a PS4 game.
Uh,
I mean, no, they're all backwards compatible.
oh yeah,
there's
that's
like,
right.
There's like 10 games that's not.
Yeah, they did decide to actually do that this time around. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. That says a lot. All right.
Probably not a Wii U game either, because every one of those games came to Switch for the most part.
So let's see here. So we're talking about like a 360,
Possibly, yeah.
PS3.
David's golden years, I would assume.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe he talked about PlayStation 3 earlier. Maybe we asked about it on PlayStation.
All right, go ahead, ask him. Ask him if it's part of that generation.
Is this game part of the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii generation?
No.
Whew. All right, so we're even further back, right? Because there's nothing. Was this game released on a cartridge?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's good.
All right.
It's good.
It's good. It's good.
I feel like that would have been a better question like 2 questions ago, because we pretty much eliminated all CDs anyways.
Right.
Not all, but you know. Okay, so it's released on a cartridge.
It's on a cartridge.
Okay, so it's not any PlayStation stuff. It's not any Xbox stuff. It's got to be Nintendo, obviously. It's not any PC stuff.
There's cartridge. It could be Nintendo. It could be
Or
Sega.
So
And
it's
then,
gotta be one of those two.
also we gotta account for portables, right?
Right, that's true, but that's fine. We know it's Nintendo or it's Sega.
Yep. So maybe we ask if it's a Nintendo game, because if it isn't, then that pretty much just leaves Sega.
That's
but if
right.
it is, then it gets rid of all of Sega.
That's right. All right, go ahead.
Is this a Nintendo game?
Yes.
All right.
It's a Nintendo game on a cartridge.
On cartridge.
All right, let's ask this. This is a good question. Is this character a playable fighter in the original Smash Bros. Game? Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, Yoshi, Kirby, Star Fox, Pikachu, Nez, Luigi, Captain Falcon, or Jigglypuff? Is this character part of the game?
I'm gonna go with yes.
That's confusing.
Nah, yeah, it's on the he's there, but he's on the periphery.
But all those
let's
characters were like main dudes.
Yeah,
Except for like Yoshi or Luigi. Maybe, I don't know. All right, so we know it's like from one of those. That's only like 9 different franchises.
Right.
You know what? He's an N64 boy.
He is.
Is.
So
Does this game? Oh man, I don't know what I want to ask here. We're at 6 questions only, so we got plenty. Does this game take place on a 3D plane?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any
Okay.
direction? Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. So I think that eliminates nearly all of Nintendo, like the original Nintendo.
Right.
A lot of Super Nintendo. I think this is N64.
This is
Could be a
N64.
handheld. Could be a handheld.
At that time, were they able,
Well, cartridge, DS, 3DS.
I mean, 3DS is after N64 era, though.
I know, but we didn't like specifically ask about those. So
Okay, I got you.
like it could be those. I don't know. David's really never mentioned handhelds too much though.
I think we're safely operating under the assumption of N64.
Okay. And it's one of those characters, so I wonder if it's like a Pokemon Stadium. I feel like I don't know. I don't know what I feel like.
Maybe we ask if the main character in the game is a humanoid.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Is the main character you control in this game a humanoid?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like how he always thinks about it. Like,
Yeah, I don't either.
if
A lot of
it
thinking.
was Mario, it's obviously yes.
Yeah.
If it's Donkey Kong, like yeah, he's kind of got human proportions. Gorillas are humanoid. Does that count? Is that a yes? I don't know.
No, it's an animal.
I know it's an animal, but David gave us a yes. I mean, could he be talking about Link? Link's technically an elf.
Yeah, that's humanoid.
I know, but he thought about it. Fox is a standing fox.
He thought about it.
Is this an N64 game?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We got it.
We got this. I don't even think the N64 library is that big. I think we have enough guesses just to guess every game on the system.
Pretty much.
I think there's like 200.
That's not a lot, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
Let's see. I mean,
the way he was, could he be talking Captain Falcon? It's got to be one of the 12. He said yes. It's got to be one of the 12.
Right. There's no like F-Zero related characters in any of that mix, is there?
No, there's F-Zero X. I just named it on the N64 games we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to make sure there's no hidden F-Zero adjacent characters that we have to worry about.
No, I mean we just got to think of the game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, like any aspects of it. I'm just trying to make sure. I'm trying to cover everything.
No, we got 12 characters that are in Smash Bros. The main characters, and he said yes to them, and he gave like a weird yes. So,
and he also gave the weird yes to humanoids.
Right. So I'm thinking like, is it Captain Falcon? Because technically you just drive something. You're not the car, the vehicle is kind of the main character. So
right, but he's a bird.
Captain Falcon?
Yeah.
Falcon's a grown man, dude. Who Falcon punch you? Can you ride a vehicle in this game of any kind? He does not know.
I'm gonna go with no.
He's going with no. We're at 10 questions now. He went with no. Okay, so it's not Captain Falcon. I think that's all I eliminated.
It's not Captain Falcon.
I think that's all I eliminated. It's not Kirby. Because Kirby only had. Maybe it is Kirby. Well, it's a humanoid. It's a humanoid. We only got like a couple humanoids.
Right.
What franchise do you want to? You want to eliminate Mario?
I feel like Mario's too obvious, so I think maybe but I don't know. What he might have like a weird Mario game there, like a Mario.
Oh shoot! There's so many. We gotta find out then if it's Mario because we gotta know because we gotta start eliminating Mario games.
Is this a Mario game?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
that's good. So I'd say we just go down the list. Is this a Zelda game?
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
Want to go ahead and take this one?
I believe we only have two options here. So you take one, and if you're wrong, I'll take the other.
How about you take the other one and do that one first?
All right. Is it Majora's Mask?
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go.
I thought it'd be cute since we reviewed Deathloop.
Oh, look at that. I like that. You did a little theme pick.
Yeah.
That's really nice. Wow.
Okay, so the
Fantastic.
reason I gave a weird yes to is he playable in that is because I don't remember if that exact link was in that Majora's Mask.
No, but I would consider it. Oh yeah, you
that's
right.
why I said yeah.
And why the hesitation on humanoid? Just to throw us off?
Just to throw us off.
Just
Yeah.
because I wasn't too sure on the humanoid part.
Just to throw us off.
Yeah, just to throw us off.
Yep.
It worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for a little while.
Good job, guys.
Just legally guessing had us second guessing only for a minute.
Oh my god, that was corny.
So, sure was. So, done with legally guessing, but we are going to stay with David as he leads the indie spotlight on a game he mentioned he's been playing that he mentioned earlier, and that is Legion TD2. I'm guessing the TD stands for Tower Defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a tower defense game, so I'm gonna go with yes.
Cool. Well, it is on you.
All right, so Legion TD2 is a tower defense game, as said, and it was made by Auto Attack Games, and it came out in November of 2017, so it is an older game, but my friends put me onto it about a couple weeks ago. So you can choose between these 8 factions now. One was just released earlier today, and it can be like based on nature, or it could be like robots, or like aqua people, or dealing with the dead. So there's a lot of variety to choose from, and you choose one of the teams, or you can unlock 2 different kinds to get random from all of them, or you can pick and choose of who you want from each one. I've only played the factions as a whole because I don't have those unlocked yet. So you just start off with a certain amount of money. I think it's 150 gold, and there's 6 different characters that you can choose to start off with, and the furthest left is the cheapest, furthest right is most expensive. I think you can't afford the most expensive one right off the bat. And it's just waves. There's a total of 20 waves, I believe. I haven't played a game to the 20th wave, but at the 20th wave someone is gonna win, someone's gonna lose. And there's this thing called leaking, is if you don't defeat the wave, they go towards your king. Now there's campaign, which is just like a one-on-one, but there's a multiplayer. You can play with a team of 4. And anybody who clears their wave, all their extra people protect the king. So if I were to leak and my 3 teammates clear, their leftover characters can help protect the king, and they might not even get hurt. If your king gets down to 0, that's when you lose, the other teams win. Now, there's a way to attack your enemies. I think it's called Mythium, and you can buy these little workers to help get you more Mythium per second, and those go over like 20, 40, 60, 80, all the way up to like 400, and those help with your currency, with your gold. So you kind of want a lot of workers so you can buy more wave creatures, so you get more gold per wave, so you can upgrade your stuff, because each character can be upgraded once. Some of them can be upgraded to 2 or 3 different things, which is great. But yeah, overall, you're just building a little army, taking on the waves. You can work as a team if you're playing with your friends and stuff. It's a great time passer. I do not remember how much it was. I am on the shop page, but it's right here. It's $20. I've already put, what am I into? I'm 5 hours in. I love it. I haven't played. There's ranked mode on here. And also on the main page there, you can see who's streaming it. I think that's a really neat idea. I don't know why a lot of games don't do that from the get-go.
Right.
But yeah, the music isn't too bad. It starts off, it's really extremely loud, so like you need to turn it down before you start playing. But it's good. The graphics are, it's a tower defense game. They don't need to be great. They do what they need to do. All your little characters look pretty cool though. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I picked on it up pretty quick, and we know how confused I can get. But yeah, Legion TD2, fun time passer. You can play ranked, you can play casual. $20. I say, take a peek if you're into those kind of games.
Yeah, I
That
think
sounds
like,
really
yeah, I think tower defense games have like been steadily growing in popularity the past few years. So, yeah.
Mm.
What was that one? Not Clash of Clans. What was the other one that was like, it was like a big mobile one like a few years ago that came out? That was like a spin-off of Clash of Clans, but it was a tower defense
Clash
one.
Royale?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. That was super big for a minute there. And I don't think it's like, standard kind of tower defense, but it was like a variation of it that a lot of people were getting into. But of course, rather have just a standard cool tower defense game. You said this was developed by who?
Auto Attack Games, I believe.
Okay.
Auto Attack Games, yes.
Cool. There you go. Indie Spotlight. Legion TD2. Check it out if you like tower defense. If you want a nice little game that you can kind of get lost in. And nice little time passer. That's what I would describe Stardew Valley to some extent as. Just a nice little game to pass time, And it sounds like it's probably the same thing, though a completely different genre. So,
Right.
But that takes us to final thoughts, where we give one last thought or point we want to make. It can be related or wholly unrelated to anything we've talked about in this level. So, who would like to give their final thought first?
I'll go real quick, and this one is related to the episode. So we had talked about the Nintendo Direct, and there was a little info that I didn't mention. They had said that the next Smash Bros. DLC character will be announced October 5th. That's next Tuesday. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to pick the last and final DLC character ever for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which has a cast of over 80 at this point. Probably the best, verse game ever in terms of the characters they brought in. So
Right.
Who's the final character in this roster? Any predictions?
Did they put Tracer in there?
They did not.
I'm thinking Tracer or Leon. They didn't put Leon in there, did they?
Nope.
It's one of those two.
Okay. Jeremy, you sticking with Master Chief?
You know what? I am thinking it is going to be.
They
haven't put Kratos in there, have they?
No.
I'm thinking it's going to either be a Master Chief or a Kratos.
Whew, that would be huge.
Supposed to be some extreme crossovers.
Yeah.
Like I said, last DLC ever for him. I think they're putting in everyone's boy Waluigi.
Yeah.
I think they got to do it.
There is so many people hoping for it, man. So many people are upset that he's not in that game.
It's their last chance. So I think
it's their last chance.
Though I like all four of your picks better. So
cool. I will give my final thought real quick. So one of the other games that I kind of had down for Quickfire, but I didn't mention, was the Halo Infinite tech preview. They did a multiplayer preview. You could play training, or you could play on the multiplayer map. I played the training because the multiplayer wasn't working when I tried to do it. And so I played it. It is interesting. It is cool. It feels like Halo, but it also feels kind of new. The little grapple hook he has is kind of cool. Now, I couldn't grapple to the top of buildings because apparently people at 343 Studios hasn't played Deathloop yet. They don't know you can do that. So hopefully they figure that out. But besides that, the shooting felt really cool. Your Spartans look cool. The game looks really good. I mean, earth-shattering graphics, no, but it looks really good. So hopefully they can keep all that up. But I am definitely looking forward to Halo a little bit more than I was before. I still think it's going to end up being meh, but it may be a better meh than I anticipated. But that is my final thought. David, what is your final thought?
My final thought is I don't think a lot. And today I came home and there was a box. I was like, what is this? I didn't order anything. But the matter of fact is I did order something. It it's Taylor Swift's latest album. I got the vinyl for it. I was like, oh yeah. So the thing is, if you're forgetful, you can get yourself presents.
There you go. There you go.
That's my final thought.
Treat yourself.
That is a silver lining if I've ever heard one right there. Definitely. Have you have a record player of which to play the vinyl on?
Nope. I have about 20 vinyls and none of them are open. Well, one of them is because I bought it pre-owned. But that
So
yeah.
they're just things you're collecting?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Cool. Well, that is it for this level 37 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service. We are everywhere. You can also like the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/Thoughts and Players, like it's all one word. Instagram, thoughts.players. We are on Twitter at ThoughtsPlayers2. YouTube, of course, we got level 36 up there. We've got our bonus level up there. We'll be putting a review up there soon. We are also on TikTok where we post little short clips. So that is everywhere we are. We want to thank everyone again for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.
Peace.